Hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, the roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. If you're new to the channel, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. If you're interested in shadow healing, you definitely want to check out the Patreon link for $7.99 a month. You get inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and all the healing modalities to heal the effects of trauma. We all know that when we're doing shadow healing, it's an ongoing process. All right. Now, if you're new to my channel, also know that the card of the day is the word that you're going to write in the description box if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me. That's also how I like to start my readings off. It's the underlining energy of reading. It's why everyone's doing what they're doing. All right, let's take a peek. Let's jump right on in and see what spirit wants us to know. Also, if you're new to my channel, you realize that my readings go deep. I don't just look at what goes on the surface. I look at the spiritual blocks. Yeah, they play out as karmic themes within your experience. This way, you have an opportunity to heal because you're able to incorporate new habits and behaviorisms. You're able to understand why, like you're being triggered, and that enables you to avoid certain triggers. And if you understand what your person's triggers are, like that's really what healing is. It's being able to see a different perception of your situation and then integrating a new habit, a new belief system, a new whatever it is to create the balance that's imbalanced within the situation. Shadows, when you have shadows and you have spiritual blocks, it means that you're imbalanced. And that means that how you're perceiving yourself and how you interact with the world is off. So someone that overcompensates, for instance, within their behaviorism, and this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like already before I even pull a card, like you are connected to someone that's really imbalanced. And they're really imbalanced because they don't want to tap into their feelings. They don't want to feel their emotions. And so it's not that they're not there. It's that they've never dealt with their emotions to begin with. I feel like they're sensitive. They were told to never show your feelings, never show that you're weak, don't show vulnerability. So they have played a role for so long that they don't feel comfortable in actually being their true self, because being your true self means that you have to incorporate your emotions, because your emotions allow you to intuitively be able to navigate your relationship better. I feel like your person is always in their ego. They're always in this strategic part of their mind, like almost it's a survival mechanism. It's a controlling, it's very triggering for them to be in a relationship. So the only way that they can feel safe is if they're coming from the ego mind. We're going to see again why I just felt that and why, what spirit's trying to tell us. And mistrust. So that's a word you're going to write in your description box. And that's the underlining energy to your situation. So I feel as if you're in connection with someone that does not trust themselves. So relationships are completely off limits. And it's whether or not they may say they'll be in a relationship, but the relationship is really one-sided. So it really is to them like it's not existent, because it almost feels like a job, right? If you can't be relaxed and you can't come from the intuitive part of self, you can't let that part of yourself dictate, then you're always coming from your survival mind, then you're always looking for a problem. You're always looking to fix, to heal, to do something. And so you don't feel relaxed. It's actually extremely exhausting. So when you're a person thinks about relationship, they think that again, it's hard, that it's draining, and that's because they're imbalanced. So let's look at the hidden truth. You and I were too young, and that's for some of you guys. I feel like this person was immature. In their mind, they were too young, but I feel like no, they hadn't experienced a lot of relationships, is what I feel. I feel as if they they might have dated like people that had one night stands, but really taking the time to get to know and nurture a relationship, no. I feel like this person was trapped a few times within relationships. That's the essence there. And when I say trapped, it's not that they weren't trapped, it's that they were always a commitment phobic that attracted really needy people. And needy people are manipulative. They come across as damsels in distress, which fed this person's ego. Again, nurturing and always coming from that strategic mind of I have to do. Nurturing for a needy person all the time is exhausting. So to them, they wanted to play the field. I feel like they wanted to see what else was out there. And so when it's feeling young, that's really what it is. It's a lack of experience. I love you. So again, they feel like they love you. And remember, only God's love is perfect, right? We learned what unconditional love is through our soulmates, through these type of connections, because they're not perfect and they're triggering and it brings up our wounds. And that's what's actually, I feel like, happening here. I wish I could take back my words. Yeah, they're in regret because they overcompensated. They wanted to act like they didn't care. And that's the thing, when a person's not coming from their true self, and a true self is not just coming from an intuitive way, but it's also a logical and analytical way. Like it needs to make sense. This person only comes from a logical, analytical way. And you might be someone, Virgo, that happens to only come from a very intuitive way. And so again, there is a soul connection here, but there really are polar opposites. So meaning like you're opposite from your person. However, I believe you're both extremely sensitive. So this person doesn't want to show vulnerability. They don't want to really truly have to show who they are, and that's because they're not really comfortable with who they are, because they never are able to manifest good relationships. So there is a part of them that's like, I know that I'm part of the problem. I just don't exactly know what I do. I'm not 100% aware of what I do. Yes, I might not want to be around, but they logic it, meaning like, yeah, I might not want to be around the relationship all the time, or I might run hot and cold, but I feel like I do like this person. I just don't like that the person owns my life, or feel like I have to lose my life in all my relationships. And that's because they always attract needy people because they're imbalanced, right? We get what we need. So it's a soul relationship, even for you, Virgo. You might be like, well, I always get people that emotionally don't give me, especially if this person's the one that's coming into your life, that you're in turn connected to, you know what I mean? Not coming into your life, that you're actually connected to for many lifetimes, because that's what this relationship is, coming in from a past life to teach you. So if you wound up with this person, well, it's because on a level emotionally, like you didn't get what you needed growing up. There's a sense of still not having that and looking for it outside of yourself. And this person, again, would be attracting someone that doesn't really, again, speak their language. So that would be triggering to them as it is to you. And so we see how, again, unconditional love, this connection, it's like you can't walk away. There's a sense of needing to surrender. In order to find spiritual equilibrium, that's what we have to do. We have to surrender. And that's the thing, if a person's in a place of mistrust, they don't trust that they're in a place of fear. We will be together again. I think that they say that because they know that this is a spiritual connection. They know that you're supposed to be in their life. They feel you. It's that they're trying to control the relationship because they don't trust themselves, but they'll project it continuously onto whoever comes into their life and shows them love. It happens to be you. So, or it was at one time, or there was a connection that you're like, well, it really should have worked out, and you felt it, and they felt it, and so they know this. They know this, but it's almost like more comfortable for this person to have a relationship in the 5D. You know what I mean? Instead of it actually here in 3D. It's like they would rather it because they're safe almost to be in daydream. But that means again, detachment, disassociation, like almost like watching it is better than being in it. The planets are activating us to heal and bring us closer together, surrender to the changes. So again, they, I don't know whether they believe in astrology, but they definitely feel like the universe has brought you into their life. They see the signs and the symbols, and they're not even a spiritual person, I feel like. I feel like you brought that to the table. You created this like new whole other realm of their life. So you majorly influenced their life because they were only coming from a logical, analytical mind, which is pretty boring. It's a survival mind. It's one that the ego makes. So it really is all about keeping up appearances, what you have, instead of the deep emotional connections. So that's how they were trained. Where I feel like you thrive in connecting to people. People love you. People gravitate towards you. You're a healer. You're an empath. You're a sensitive. So people just automatically, you're like, I don't know, I'm not supposed to stop. And this person just starts talking to me, and I wind up talking to them. But that would never happen with your person. Your person would like would be polite, maybe say a word or two, but they would again go about their own way, where you would have a whole conversation and that bus would show up and you would get on the bus, talk to that person all the way, and then say bye when you got off the bus. Or that person would say bye, yeah, like a good talking to you, good talking to you too. That would never happen to your person. So they see, again, opposites. I'm feeling controlled by people around me and I don't like it. It's pushing me to find my power again. So I feel like your person is like someone that's sensitive that wasn't allowed to be sensitive and doesn't trust. But part of the reason why they don't trust is because the people that are surrounding them, right? They're their friends. And that's what happens when we don't trust, we don't grow. And so part of not growing is also keeping some of the same friends. As you grow, it's normal to like lose people in your life. And it doesn't mean that they die. Just means that you got busy in other areas of your life. You created yourself. And as you create yourself, you become yourself, you find yourself. So this person didn't do that. I feel like they were very controlled by like their family or influenced by their family, their fate, something, whether it was again friends that were family, people that were important at one time really served in this person's life. gave them the confidence to persevere, saw something in them that no one saw. So they trusted them. And those people also invested in in them. However, as your person evolved and grew, they outgrew those people. And so they're no longer really connected to those people. And that's normal because, again, it's especially if there's a huge age gap, especially if there's those people aren't really invested in their life. If they're, like I said, I feel like they're older. Like your person hangs out with a lot of people that are older, that are connected to their work. And so it's almost like they're living like an old person, almost like, because those people are jaded too. They're not happy. The way that they think is, don't trust people, there's no such thing as love. So it also is a huge problem. And so this is really what it is. Your person now is like, well, now I'm a little bit older and you came into my life and I kind of reacted. They know that they reacted. They're kind of like looking at the people in their life and they're like, I'm not really comfortable, and why am I listening to these people? You know, because I feel like they influence your person a lot. Like, no, make that person come back. They should crawl to you. Don't show your weakness. Don't show your vulnerability. Don't show your emotions. Again, driving those feelings, so they're almost like making your person into a zombie. And so that's what makes them not feel good, because they're like, you know what, I'm not even being me now. Please contact me. I may not respond, but knowing you care opens my heart. It's like this person, again, is a closed heart chakra because they don't trust. But look, they're surrounded by people that they really can't trust, because no one tells someone to shut down their heart. No one tells someone to make someone else come back and beg to come back, to do those things, unless it's to block, unless it's because they're blocking for the better of their good, not your person's good. And for a long time, your person didn't see that, because they were still seeing them through the kind of like naive eyes, like, because when they first started their business, or when they first started, these people were here, they invested, they were the support. And now if it's not a business, it's some dream. It's something that it's how they became themselves. The problem is that you're not your job, and you're not just that one element. If you're, again, really into a hobby or a sport, you're not soccer. That's an element of and that's really what it is. What they see is, this is just my life. Everything evolves around this, and it's nothing. It's like it connects me to these people that are draining. Well, I mean, I love this person. So they're like, please contact me, because it's like they don't know. They're so emotionally not intelligent, and they're so afraid, because even though that um they can feel the truth with those people, it's like it's still the devil they know. And instead of venturing out, like, might hurt me. So if at least you reached out to me, I would know I need to feel safe. That's what happens when we don't trust. Our hearts are connected. Take a moment to close your eyes and feel the connection. They're like, if they could like try to like influence you, I feel like they would be such a sweet talker. They would be able to get you to do anything, because it's like there really is a soul connection. You really do love this person, and they know that, they can feel that, but it's, again, they've been wired by their environment. They're gonna have to force themselves to do it. This is why they're in a state of disequilibrium. They're so out of balance because they're not tapped into their emotions at all. I wish I could say what I really feel. Someday I will, but right now I'm afraid to be myself. This person doesn't even know how to be themselves because they're afraid to actually show you what's there. They feel embarrassed. Like I can't make decisions for myself. Like I'm a grown person. I gotta like ask these people that are like ancient that because they become my life. But that's how did this happen? How did this happen? I'm not happy. So they're embarrassed. When our conversations are lighthearted and playful, it eases the tension that is sometimes there when we talk. So again, this person just doesn't feel comfortable a lot of times. And it's again has nothing to do with you. It's again, they look for problems, they look for things. And remember, people, it's not that this person didn't all of a sudden grow up. It's like they were conditioned in an environment. So anytime this person had an opinion, it was challenged, and it was challenged to a point that they surrendered their opinion. It's done by gaslighting, where it's again making like these people again were very negative and didn't have good relationships, don't have a good life, probably had money problems too until your person came into their life and changed that. So they're terrified of losing the control. And that's what this is here. So in your parent person is terrified to leave because they have had nothing but bad experiences in relationships. So they feel in love with you, but like, are you gonna kill me? You're gonna hurt me? Like it's again, I don't know. It's like I don't even know. These people were in my life. I thought that they were family. I thought that they should have been family almost. Like they've been in my life for so long. And I would never thought that family would do this to me. I never thought. So they're devastated. They're so, and this is why that they're in this state with you, like, oh my God. It's like I can't say anything because this whole fucking thing is a mess. You feel it feels sad for them. Okay, let's look at the inner child wounds because we have to say, and we're gonna see what this person is going to do, you know, first of all, and then we're gonna see why you attracted this person. Because usually I would say let's see what this person is going to do after. But I'm like, I want to see what this guy is going to do now. What this girl is going to do now. Like, are they going to be able to get away? I was pretending to be someone else. So again, there is a state of healing where they're reflecting on, again, their entire life. I feel empty without you. Again, there's the realization you are their person. Oh, I feel so bad for them. It's almost like I miss you. I feel like they're still like trying to hold back a little bit because they're like mortified. But I feel like they're gonna miss you so much they're not gonna be able to stay away. They're not gonna be able to stay away. I died in and out of relationships in the past. So I feel like their thing was again that was part of the control. I feel like the people around them know that your person's not happy, but they're like, oh, like part of it is like, don't be a player, be this type of person, like treat them like this, treat them like that. And they were living like that too. Soulmate, but they know you're their soulmate. They know it. They can tell the difference. They're like, I don't want to dive in and out of relationship. You're always on my mind. I mean, it's not saying what they're going to do. What it's really saying is it's like they're in a state of healing and processing. So it's again, the person needs that they need this because when they come back, they're going to be a different person. I feel like this person was cocky because again, they weren't coming from their true self. And when we don't come from our true self, we either overcompensate or we undercompensate in our behaviorism. So this person acted like a player, acted like they didn't care, gave you very little. Now they're ashamed. Like you said, they're ashamed because they're like, oh my God, look at my life. Look at my life. This is the end of the way that I'm living. I'm not gonna live it. And they're like, I'm out. I'm out. I don't know how when, and I don't know how, but I'm out. And that they're and they because they know that they can't. They also know that they'll lose you. And they're like, you're almost like their only hope. And I know that that's kind of like a lot, like to put on you, but I feel like this person does again would bring to the table. They're very they have gifts that you don't have, is what I'm feeling. So I want to see again, why did you attract this person to your life? Again, because right now, if you wanted to be with this person, it doesn't mean that you can't, even though they're, again, not very competent. It would mean that you would need to know what your triggers were and why, and to integrate those triggers and to integrate your wounds rather, so you wouldn't get triggered by them. Integrate the trigger, but really you're integrating the wound. And the wound is the psychological and emotional imbalance, or the gift that was never developed. We always tend to think shadows are just are blocks, but they're not. They're also hidden gifts and talents. This is nurturance, like needing to again nurture yourself. I feel like that also for this person, not uncommon for both parties to have that imagination. I believe that that's a survival mechanism. And they say the child that survives thrives, right? So children also have great imaginations. And how do you manifest? Through, again, the thoughts that you think. And so the more imagination that you have, the easier it is actually to manifest. That's why, again, when they say the child that survives thrives, it's because those children that survived trauma, they it's easy for them to go into an altered state of consciousness where they're actually designing their life with the creator through their imagination. I feel like that's the way that you did nurture yourself, because I don't believe that you were really nurtured for your sensitivity. And again, inner authority. So I also believe that for both of you, again, both grew up similar, however, different gifts, right? So, but both needed to nurture themselves, didn't get the nurturing. So, what happened is a lot of free time to imagine and to create, which is good, but then needing to really listen to the inner authority. Inner authority is what, again, tells us we need to create boundaries in our life, what feels right to us by being true to ourselves. So I feel like when you don't grow up with the nurturing, as children, you tend to want to fix, you tend to want to get love. So you try to get love through being the fixer, through being the healer, through being that person that is always giving. What happens then is that you're conditioned to believe that love is that, but love isn't that. Love is, again, it's unconditional. I feel like the disequilibrium that your person was in, and that's the imbalance that they were in, was the fact that they were living according to other people in their environment that they grew out of. And so, like I said, they needed to master this inner authority. They need to live through their truth. And really, that is nurturing, right? And I feel like the imagination is what they actually have a problem with because they haven't lived a lot of experiences. And not living a lot of experiences, you live the same thing, you wouldn't really know. You become really grounded. And that's why I feel like this person is very good in business, very good with the physical elements of the physical world, where you again have gifts in the higher realms, such as like your imagination, your third eye, your crown chakra, to be able to imagine, to be able to embody the emotion, and actually to be able to speak your truth. This person, again, like it was always a show of what they created instead of just coming from their truth and feeling comfortable and relaxed, which is really exhausting. So we also ask for those of you that are going to take this person back when they come back, because they are going to come back, mainly because you can only stay in a place of trying to control your emotions for so long before you burst, especially because love is God, and that is unconditional love. And we all have that, but it's in one energy that's inside of each and every single one of us, that when we meet a soulmate, we can, everybody knows the language, everybody knows it's something special, but it's also, forgot where I was going with this. But it's also the energy of like like our connection to source. And so when we know that it's special, we have to come to a place of balance, and we do that by not trying to control the situation. This person was trying to control who they were to please the wrong people in their life, which is why their perception of life is imbalanced, because those people are, not really, like you said, not don't have your person's best interest at hand, they have their own. So that's why there's a problem. So again, those of you that are going to take this person back, because there is unconditional love, please take courage. So again, I believe that that's for your person. I am strong, then fear. Well, it's actually be for both. This person, it could be very triggering to be with a person that you feel like is weak. It's like to be like, I don't know. So really, fear is bigger than doubt. So you have to go to light. So it's again, it's all about, says, I trust in God and stand tall before the tests of life. I grow and become wiser through every challenge. I am being of new life. So I feel like it's scary for both of you guys to be in a relationship, and but you both want to be in a relationship. And this person, again, I don't feel like they were, I feel like they listened to other people, so they didn't treat you well. And so that takes courage in taking someone back. But it, but if there's love there, you have to have courage, because love is stronger than doubt. So you have to get to that place. And if it's real, you'll find, you both will find your balance in it, because again, balance, and that's really what the spiritual lesson is. It's finding balance between each sphere of life. And when you do that, it's like you become balanced. So what has happened is, I feel like your person's very codependent. That's why they allowed other people to, again, control. And you can have a tendency to be very codependent, because you both grew up in a place of imbalance and saw that codependence play out. So that's the ancestral karma that needs to be broken. And once you do that, by finding balance in your life, meaning that there's many different hours in the day. And so not spending so much time with this person to a point where you become dependent on them, whether that's financially, emotionally. And when you're balanced, you find your way, you find your groove, and within the relationship too, because there really is unconditional love. So it means that you're not always around. That person appreciates you. You're taking care of yourself, so you become admired. You become admired because it's like you you're creating yourself, and that creates a whole other life that it would inspire this person, because this person hasn't lived. And that's really would teach them how to do it. That's what you'd be doing. You are showing them, you'd be their muse, showing them. But that's why they're so tantalized with you, because of that. And so Spirit says, continue to stay balanced. Have courage if you want the relationship, and continue to stay balanced. All right, Virgo. I hope that you resonated. And if you did, don't forget to write the word in your comment bar. How could we forget it? Mistrust. All right. Talk to you later.